left-hand lead. Herta's our poop. Just thinking about how I want to approach this today. Woo! We're continuing from yesterday, but I want to push it a little more. doing a Herta but putting a kick at the end, but doing like right, then right, left, triple, then left. Shifting on the right. That's something new for me. I'd never played that before. Or if I did, I didn't know I did. That's cool. I like it. I'm trying to listen to where the ride lands on this. So if you play right hand lead, obviously, like with a triplet, the ride's gonna be on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. That's what the ride's doing. Playing the first two. Triple, 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 triple. I just gotta get that time. As good as. So what if we put a flam at the top of the Herta? Pretty much like a... Discovery. It's like I've been playing some of this, but I don't know what it is. So it's like, slow it down, dude. Figure it out. Sunday morning, brain is foggy. sounds good, right? For a Sunday. Jimmy Eat World, man. That first record is so good. Rack, good morning. Hi. Cheers. What are you working on? Today you're building, you're resting, you're practicing, you're mixing. I'm deep diving into Hertas today. Like taking like right left kick, right? Or like if you're doing left right kick or right left kick. But then you realize it's just that. Right, so right-handed Herta going back and forth. It's kind of cool, right? I mean, I know this, but like, you just gotta stop and think about it, right? Stems, moving projects from Ableton to Pro Tools for upcoming sessions. Is that annoying? I know, like, for me, I'll do stuff in Logic for Pro Tools folks, and like, I'll merge tracks and then bounce them as waves in a folder. But I know you could do like group folders or something. Everyone does it a little different. It's kind of annoying. Is it a big? I've never worked with Ableton. Like you're trying to save like all the plugins and all that too, huh? So you probably got to bounce regions and stuff. That's, people don't realize that sucks. Right? People are like, oh, just send me the project, just send me the files. You're like, oh. It's a pain in the butt, right? Lots of consolidation. Yeah, because you probably have like a bunch of takes and stuff to go through. Because like for me with drumming, I'll do like, let's say for each song, I'll do like 5 takes, right? And people are like, well, don't delete them, but send us the one we like, but don't delete the others. So you gotta like send them the, it's just like, dude, you're never gonna want the other takes. Come on, you're just wasting time. And my hard drive space. People just need to stop being so picky, right? Just like, look, my drums are good, but your song sucks. I'm sorry. None of these takes are gonna make it better. That's mean, Dan. That's mean. That's what my wife would say. That's not nice. I get that a lot. That's not very nice. You have one client that your hard drive is full of unused takes. See, right? Like, why? Did they think like there's magic in the takes they're not using? Because there isn't. I can tell you right now. They're probably like, right? Digital conversion ruined a lot of just great recordings. I'll tell you that. The ability to just record thousands of takes kills it. You know? I've seen so many Schrodinger's takes, yeah. I've seen so many good musicians who just rip, right? Crumble in the studio. They second guess everything, every little thing. You know? They're like, oh, did I breathe wrong? Did I say that word weird? You know, oh, that one snare hit sounds a little different than the others. It's like, dude, you're hearing things that not even a dog could hear, you know? And they're seeing ghosts, but in a recording, you know? Like, did you hear that? It's like, no, there's nothing there. It's good. Move on. But I get it, but it's crippling for some people in the studio. Like, like as I said, I've seen monster players just go in there and just turn into mush, you know? So props to the engineers who deal with it, right? Who sit there, and the producers, and when everyone's like, I don't know, what do you think about how I said that word? And you're just like, yeah, wow, that's great, yeah. Bass player, what's up? Says the person who spent an hour this morning just dialing in compression. I got up like, I don't know, we got up like before 7. We're trying to get back to the swing before school starts. So I'm like, I came down here, I did a little mixing, and I was like tweaking the compressors like a little bit. Like, So I should shut up, right? 2 fan intros. Yep. That's so true. I don't know, when I first started out, it was 100%. That was me. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, this song's great. This song's wonderful. Now when people ask, I tell them, I'm like, do you want my Simon Cowell answer? Because if it's great, I'll tell you to your face it's great. But if I don't think it's that great, I'm going to tell you straight up. And some people don't want to know. They're like, no, I'm good. Okay. But if people legitimately want my advice now, I'm honest. I'll be like, look, it's a neat song, but it's not great. No one's probably gonna pay attention to it. Because then that kind of pushes them to like relook at it maybe and like turn it into something really interesting. Same with drumming. If my drumming sucks, I want someone to say like, hey man, you gotta step this up because it's only gonna make you better, right? It's like in Whiplash. The 2 most dangerous words in the human language are good job, right? And it's kind of true because you settle. You're like, oh, okay, move on to the next thing. The 25% extra for truth mode. Yeah. And it seems mean, like you come off as mean, but I tell them, I'm like, my intentions aren't to like, just like destroy what you've got here, but it's just to make you think about it from a different perspective, you know? Sometimes people change it and it, you know, that's why I love certain artists and certain producers who they're straight up. They're like, no, that's not good. And they don't waste time. They don't, what is it? They don't humor a bad idea, right? They're like, no, let's move on, right? You just have to know when to say that. Yeah, bass player, 100%. Yeah, if like some punk kid that doesn't know anything about anything is trying to tell you what to do, then just be like, look, man, I appreciate your input, but you know nothing Jon Snow. But if it's an artist who's been playing for like decades and who's worked on a lot of stuff, you know, take their input to heart. They probably have other references that maybe you don't. So, all right. I'm here to ing it up, but before we get crazy, I'm keeping it simple. Hand, kick. So if I'm doing a right hand, we're staying in triplets. We're doing triplets and Herta's in triplet form or 3-stroke roughs. It's kind of been a theme for the past week. So right, left kick, triple. Right, you'll notice if you start with a right hand lead, most drummers have their right hand on a cymbal or moving around the kit. It's a dominant hand for most of us. Unless you're a left-handy alien, they're aliens. It still trips me out when I see left-handed drummers. I'm just like, what? Speed up my tempo. Brad, what's up? Oh man, coffee does, it helps me perk up a little bit, but also calms me down, if that makes sense. I can have like 12 cups of coffee right before bed, like a pot of coffee. And hey, you're an alien, dude. So I'm telling you, talented people are usually like lefties and just like blow my mind. I had a student, beer gap. Hello. It's good to see you. Thank you for the raid. I had a student, Connor. He's a sweetheart kid. He shows up, right? I'm afraid to touch this because the robots have been misbehaving recently. So forgive me. We might have to like reprogram things. They had an update, and since the update, they just keep disconnecting from the app, and it's kind of pissing me off. But Connor, he comes in, and he's like 6 years old, this kid. Usually when I get 6, 7-year-old kids, I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Babysit time. This kid comes in, and he's like ripping. Never had drum lessons before. He's kind of self-taught. He's playing left-handed, but open. He's like doing his own thing, like no one's shown him like how to play drums. So he's playing the drums. He's playing like Led Zeppelin. He's like 6, just by ear, and he's doing his own thing. And his mom and dad are like the sweetest people. And he's like, I'm left-handed, but I can do things with my right hand. And I was like, oh, cool. Okay. I'm thinking in my head, like, I've never met someone truly ambidextrous, right? It's like someone saying like, I have perfect pitch, but then they're in their corner going, it's like, I have perfect pitch. And, he's like, I could do things with both hands. And I was like, okay, cool. And I would show him stuff, and he would do it like naturally, just like switch hands, and he'd do this, and he'd do this, and he's like all over the place. It didn't matter what I threw at him. And the older he got, I realized he could write with both hands, like just as fast, just as quick. He could he'd play a guitar, he'd flip it around, play it, and he'd do piano. He was like a brilliant kid. He's punk. He's so good, but he's the sweetest, most respectful kid. But he was truly ambidextrous. And I'm like, dude, you're an alien. You're awesome. Like, whatever you got going on here. So, like, left-handed players, you guys are wired different. It's kind of neat. It's like looking at when you see a camera flipped, and it's like, you're looking at it and you're like, but I know this is the reverse, but it's your perspective changes. So whenever I see a lefty playing the drums, it's always really interesting to see a left hand move the way I think a right hand moves, right? And like that fluid motion, and it trips me up. Like the drummer for Muse, who else? The drummer for, oh my God, what's that band? I've been running around, da-dee-da-da. I can't think of it, but that band, I think he's a left-handed drummer. There's a few out there, but they trip me up. We are cartoon characters. So do you play drums left-handed? Do you play guitar left-handed? And I felt bad. Some of my students were just purely left-handed drummers. And previous drum teachers were trying to teach them how to play right-handed. I'm like, that's so mean. Like, if your brain is wired left dominant, like, why are you trying to force someone to just struggle through the mud on right-hand lead, Some people are they want to play left. And, like, I felt so bad because it's so hard to find, like, a left-hand pedal. At least it was, like a double pedal, where the pedal's over here. Or, like, guitar players who want a certain guitar, but they're like, it's a lefty, they're all righties. So it just sucks. Kings of Leon, that's it. Penta, yes. Yes, Sex on Fire. Sex is on fire. Right? It's a good song. Ringo Starr. Ringo? Yeah, he did like he always left-hand led fills. But he's a righty, right? He plays right. Don't get mad at me. I love the Beatles, but I was never like Beatle mania crazy Dan, Dave Lombardo. Vinnie Paul was? Really? He had a right kit, didn't he? But he was left-handed? Interesting. Man, that dude was a monster. Dave Lombardo, yeah, he plays open-handed. It's interesting though, right? I'm trying to think. You have people who are just on that level of alien, like Vinny Colaiuta. If you watch him, he's kind of like that, where he's a right-hand player, but like you just say like, hey, just put everything backwards. He'd be like, okay. That stuff is scary. Carter, Beaufort, they're not truly ambidextrous, but they have crazy independence and control over it, right? end, and if the robots collapse, I'm sorry, I'm talking about my robots up here. They've been acting up. There was a big update in the firmware, and now they're disconnecting all the time. Ian, yeah. Okay, so drummers, I'll show you what I'm workshopping, what I'm woodshedding. It's a term. Do people still use that? Go to the woodshed for the drummer? That's what you used to hear a lot, like, I'm woodshedding this idea. I don't know. Who's playing with his left leg on the right hand? Oh, really? Yeah, they're aliens. So, triplets or groups of three. You could think of these as 16th notes, one E. However you want to count these, but I'm thinking of triplets in groups of three and Hertas. Hertas, everyone thinks of Hertas, like Bleed, all that kind of stuff. Blink 182. Earth is dying. Da, 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 da. Stupid. Oh, that song is so good. Really. What song is that? Aliens Exist? Is Heresy? Yeah, it's the Gretsch Broadcaster in Cadillac Green Gloss. But focus up, Dan. Earth is dying. It's kind of like a Travis kit, just jazz, right? So we have right, left kick or left, right kick. That's kind of the rule. So if you're playing triplets, if you take a right hand Herta, hit it. Two things. You'll notice the right hand stays here because you're playing 4 notes, but the 4th is on the kick. So even though you're playing triplet, you're playing groups of 3, so you maintain the right hand lead. Right. But if you take the left hand away, you realize that you're playing with a right hand Herta. Triplet, 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 triplet. You're doing is kind of cool to think about. And I don't know, I've played this for a long time, but just kind of had this realization today with the focus pulling. Oh, thank you, Sound Acres. Hi. Do you have a YouTube channel? I love following any YouTube channel that's a studio. Man, it's so fun. I love that kind of stuff, but I really appreciate that. I hope the camera doesn't mess up the app that we're running. All the robotic stuff has been fidgety the past couple days after an update. But isn't that kind of cool, right? So if you think about it, a Herta at really fast tempos with a right hand lead, thinking head at it with the foot, is essentially just like da da triplet, triplet, triplet. It's still that triplet, that 3 feel. versa. Vice versa, you do a left hand Herta, right? Or a left hand lead triplet. Right? Same thing. Left hand leads Hertas are my newfound kryptonite. I think just years of just like doing them with right hands. You know, we're not going to go to our weak hand to do a lead with something we know we can like fully pull off the articulation and power with the main one. So I'm strengthening it, trying it with traditional grip. It does not like it. It feels like super loose and lame, right? A Herta to me is like tight and crispy, but my left hand Hertas are more like they're very loosey goosey. So I'm trying to tighten them up. We'll try it. So if anyone has questions, please interrupt. But that's what I'm focusing on right now. Those two variations, a right hand lead and a left hand lead Herta, or like what we've been talking about the past couple days. Those first three notes of a Herta is a 3-stroke rough. Right? 3 notes, da 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 da, right? It's so weird to do left hand. Think of that, but you could play if you're doing a left hand lead. You could play the right hand with the kick drum because it'll kind of make sense. If you're playing a ride. Also, I'm all over the place today, but I'm trying to keep it simple, but last thing is add a flam to the start of these. So instead of playing like triple or put a flam. It's kind of cool. sounds cool though, right? I mean, it's something simple, but it turns something simple like into just some really cool possibilities. Laser, what is up? Good morning. 42, dude, that's massive. Thank you. Hi. Love the Tony Ear kit. Good to see traditional groupies. Oh, thank you. Sonicers, thank you. It's what we were doing this morning was working on the mix a little bit. I'm going to try something. Again, I'm afraid to touch this app because it's been disconnecting on me, but we'll get nerdy. Dennis, good morning. It's good to see you again. How was your Saturday night? I'll show you the mics and what we're using. For those who are curious, we've got, let's see. Again, I'm afraid to touch it. We're using the R88 as overheads. What the heck? 20 laser. Dude, Baki got one, let's go. Holy goodness. Laser. Dude, you're crazy. Thank you. My goodness. I need an update, dude. I'd love to know how things are going. That's massive. That's insane. You cued the Hertas. I hope the alert played for everybody. I love this name. Laser, you gifted someone named I Sold My Soul to Rock and Roll. Ain't that the truth? But we're using the Gretsch Broadcaster again, Dennis. I'll show you. But we're using the R88 as an overhead stereo ribbon mic. I have a 57, the go-to on the snare. Loretta, hello! You got one, let's go. Oh, there's Kevin. And we've got R92 on the kick. So we're ribbon central. All about the ribbon microphones, except for the 57. But it's working. The robots are good. I won't donate them to the community college. But we're working on compression this morning. So I don't know if any of you guys are audio nerds, but I got the Heritage Audio, the Grandchild. It's like a Fairchild clone. So it's a tube compressor. And that thing is just, it's like my new favorite toy. I love it. So I was messing with that this morning. We're only doing like 1 dB of compression through that, but it just takes that stereo signal and just tightens it up, but in a really cool way. I don't know how to describe it. So that's what we're working with it. 3 mics. You fancy. I know, right? Oh, I love it though. So yeah, I was messing with the mix this morning, but that's what we're working with. And there is no EQ on any of this, so if anyone's curious, there's just compression. So we're going through the Grandchild. There's some parallel compression with 1176s and this is all analog, by the way. We're using Warm Audio 76s and Warm Audio, they're 3A, LA3A compressors, and 76 3A into parallel a little bit. That group is being squished together by the Grandchild a little bit, and then on our master bus we have the Audioscape SSL style V comp. So it's just compression, just dial it into this room in my playing. So yeah, for all the nerds, we're all analog. There's no plugins and no magic happening. The EQs are on. I have API 550s on the whole thing, but just to kind of, those transformers add like just a little boost of power, but they're not engaged. They're not manipulating anything. They're just, the signal's going through them for that juice, For there to be no EQ on it, it sounds so good currently. Oh, EQ the crap out of your kit. I still do that though. If I'm doing like a modern production, it's a lot of EQ, yeah. But this kit, the way I have it tuned, it's very open, you know, and it's very bright and just ringy, and the room is very alive. And the ribbon mics pick up the low end from far away, so I don't have to like boost anything. Like I could put tom mics up here, but it would just kind of like build on the low end, and it would just probably be super rumbly. So this kit, it works great with no EQ, right? But if it's like, if it's a modern sound, you gotta do close mics and yeah, EQ and just sculpt and boost if you need. But I use a lot of EQ on modern things. I just bought the Carter McLean concept and created. Yes, I have. Hold on. Hold on, Dennis. Hold on. I gotta find it. My drum books. That is an amazing book. Carter's a sweetheart. Big friend of the stream. Let's see. Here we go. 100%. Have you tried it yet? It's hard. I gotta put these books down. But yeah, this book is what Dennis is talking about. There's Carter there. He doesn't age. He's like Rob Lowe, right? If you see a picture of Carter from like 20 years ago, you're like, it's the same picture. He looks the same. He's ageless. But this is a great book. Do you understand it so far? Love the vibe and the sound? Yeah, independence-wise, this is a trip. This book will wake you up hard. At first, you're like, oh, I got this. This is a piece of cake. But I can do all of the things until I really get into, I haven't delved into triplets yet. I can do all the 16th note iterations with like the right, left, lefts and all that. But that was a fun process to go through. It doesn't seem like a lot. You get the book and you're like, oh, it's not that crazy. But it's a lot. There's a lot here. Oh, you're getting it on Tuesday. Got it. You haven't tried it yet. It's fantastic. And I'm a big fan of Carter's. I'm going to miss him on Instagram, but he went live the other day on YouTube. Make sure you're following him there because he went live. For those of you that don't know, Carter McLean's the drummer for The Lion King on Broadway, and he said I think he's been doing it for like 20 some years. He's an insane player. Like, again, he's an alien. His hands are insanely amazing, and he's got a great touch and a great feel, and he's a good person. He's really nice. So check him out, buy his book, support that man. He knows what he's doing. But you're gonna love that book. Let me try some. I'll try it. I'll try the doubles. You'll see different sections, but the whole point of the book is to hear. We'll go back to the Hertas in a second. I want to try this. Is like, as a drummer, we do accents, right? So like if you're playing all accents, one E and one, right? Everything's an accent. If you do accents of two. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. They alternate, right? If you're doing back and forth, 1 E and 1 2 3 4 1 2 5s, 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 talk again, talk again, talk however you count it. 6s 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4. right? Sevens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And talk again. Talk again. 1 and a 2 and a da 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 da. Right? No, Dennis, I love this stuff. Don't apologize. But what makes it really hard is taking alternating strokes, right? And then doing it with doubles. And that was the hardest thing for me, is taking it and doing the accents with doubles. Right, like that kind of stuff, but then doing like the different ostinatos underneath it. But it's wild. It's really fun. You're gonna love it, but hate it at the same time. Carter is gonna turn into a curse word for you. You're just gonna be like, Carter, but in a good way. It's a very challenging book. Transposed by another friend of the stream, Mike Dawson. If you're not following him, please do. He's a sweetheart. I have a question. I cannot do left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. I've tried so many years for my brain to get it, but it doesn't happen for me. Can I just get away with doing single stroke rolls? So like paradiddles, there is no reason to do anything that you think you need to do. Sound acres, I guess. If it's working and it sounds good for you, then it's good, right? But if you want to broaden your just vocabulary on the kit, it's a good thing to learn. Like in context, I just drum simple stuff, but I know I'm not progressing. Some of the simplest things on drums aren't about like the sticking and how intricate and crazy it is. It's how does it feel, right? So if you're drumming, if you're just playing, we were talking about Ringo earlier, right? Have to be crazy. Now, if you're trying to sound like a Vinny or a Dennis or something crazy, or Buddy Rich or something, getting your hands together is going to be a good thing. A book you should look into is, I think I'm using it in another area. Hold on. Nope. This book. This is my old copy. It's worn, but Stick Control. It's missing the cover, but look that up. Even just the first, oh my God, focus please. Never mind. Camera. Focus. You'll notice it's the same thing, just with different stickings. What you're trying to play, left, right, left, left, is a paradiddle, right? It's a single followed by a double. Ways you can get better at it is separating your hands, right? Just learning them on a snare drum, they all kind of sound the same, like you said. You might think of them just like dot, 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 right? Because they sound the same. The best way to do is separate them so your brain can hear what those stickings sound like instead of just hearing a monotone on a pad or a snare drum. It's good to learn them on a pad, but you really get good at hearing like left, right, left, left, and a right, left, right, right. That's two rhythms combined in one, if that makes sense. So the right hand is playing. Right? So if you're hearing it just here, it sounds the same. But if you separate them, you'll know like, oh, there's rhythms within rhythms. And it's making like a compound sticking pattern, right? Even right, left, if you create a downbeat, you realize that they're different. Right? So even taking like diddles. Same thing, but you just how you move them around or how you play them. Singles, paradiddles, but hearing them separate. And just like maybe tap one stick on your leg so you learn what each hand is doing. Whoops. Right, you can even do them with the feet. So just turn the right into like a pedal. Paradiddle. It's kind of cool, right? It turns a simple thing into like literally thousands of possibilities. And things that you'll learn, like with stick control, and the more you dive into it, a paradiddle, that right, so single, single, diddle, single, single, diddle. It alternates, right? Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Throwing in that diddle shifts this around. But if you write that down on a paper, right? Just like I don't know if you play any instruments and you learn about modes on a scale, you know, you could take a rudiment and just start it at a different spot and you get a completely different rudiment, but it's the same thing. So if the sticking stays the same, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, but let's say you want to start with the right, you want to start with that left. So same thing, but it's just you're switching it, and they have words for them. Like a reverse paradiddle would be starting with the diddle first. What do they call it? An inverse, not inverse paradiddle, but inverted paradiddle. That's it. So start with like right, left. then you can mix them around and just do it all crazy. And I make it look easy, but it's so freaking hard. It took me a long time to really get it. You just have to sit down with like a book like Stick Control, like straight up. The first page, it's literally just 16th notes, 1E and a 2E and a da 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 da, or 8th notes, I'm sorry. But if you look at it, the stickings change. So the first sticking is a single stroke roll. Right, left, then left. Then it does doubles. With right hand lead, then left hand lead. Then a paradiddle. Then an inverted paradiddle. Reverse paradiddle. And my favorite is an over the bar line paradiddle. But that's just the first 8. And there's like 1,000. But don't go crazy and think you got to learn all of them in like a day, because part of it is just learning the anchor point, right? If you're playing a pulse, it's like, what subdivision are you in? What's sticking? Understanding what the sticks sound like in different spots. And that's what I mean. Separating them is key. Hear those rhythms within rhythms, and it's really cool. And that just takes your playing just and explodes it, right? You listen to great drummers and you think they're playing this like insane, I don't know, like you see like physicists writing on a chalkboard, and you think these drummers are playing this like far out there crazy thing. They are playing it crazy, but they're playing simple things just at this insane level of competency, you know, that it just sounds like magic. But it's simple stuff. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy, but think of it like this. If you know the alphabet, right, you'll know how to make words up and how to talk and how to create sentences and all that. Some people, when they talk, it sounds, they can move nations, right? Like they can just command all kinds of things to happen with their voice. But it's like everyone knows, you know, you got to learn the alphabet. You got to learn how to talk. Once you get that going, you know, it's interesting to see how people then put it into their own words. But books like Carter's is going to be pretty intense. That book is insane. It's something good to work on, but maybe just start with the very beginning, you know, and really learn it. Do it to a metronome. Make sure you're tapping your foot, all that good stuff. A book like Stick Control that has been around forever is just tried and true to learn stickings and hear the stickings. It's fantastic. So, yeah, I love talking about this stuff. So, yeah, always ask, always interrupt. Because it's something that it's like deep down we all know it, right? We all know what we need to do as drummers, right? We all know it's all ones and zeros, rights and lefts, and how you put those two together. But sometimes just seeing it and hearing someone talk about it, or seeing someone play it slow, or just working through it, makes all these other things click in your brain. You know, at least for me, that's how it is. You know, I might watch someone and I'm like, what are they playing? And I'm trying to figure it out. And then finally I'll just like, hey man, can you slow that down? What are you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm just going, you know, and you're like, oh my God, that's crazy. So sometimes you just gotta have it slow down, you know? Dennis, yeah. It's a great book. Another one that was recommended to me from East, a viewer, is this book. Hold on. you like Carter's book, you should check out. I might have it. I might not have it here. I think it's upstairs. I was looking at it. Oh man, what's it called? It's by Zach. What's his name? This is gonna bother me. Hold on, let me go look. It might be right up at the top of the stairs. Hold on. Yeah, bass player, 100%. Over the years, there were rhythms that you couldn't hear until... Over the years, I think there were rhythms I couldn't hear until I saw them played. Yeah, 1,000%. This book, Cinco, by Zach Miller. It's pretty intense. It's not for a beginner, but if you find Carter's book interesting and you're like in that jazz realm or just like polyrhythmic, interesting land, this is great. Here's the exercises. You want to look. I mean, it's intense, but it's a beautiful book. It's a hardcover. The artwork is gorgeous. It's written out like by hand. It's really cool. Highly recommend it. It's very personable. But Zach Miller, Cinco. I got mine through. Oh my gosh. What's the drum shop in Portland? Oh my gosh. It's not Portland Drum Shop. Oh my gosh. It's Jose's shop. But yeah, it'll pop up. Google it. Cinco. Oh my gosh. Why is this? Oh, Revival Drum Shop. That's where I got it. That's it. Couldn't think. But yeah, enjoy it, Dennis. You're going to have fun. So Herta's. It's kind of along the lines of paradiddles, but like just taking a triplet, substituting the last note of the triplet. So 1, 2, 3. So the third note, play on the kick drum. Left hand lead, so left, right. Could do this even if you don't have a drum set. Don't be like, can't practice, I don't have a kit. Try it just left, right, da, da, right, left. Triple left, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Triple left, triple left, triple left, triple left. And we've been doing 3-stroke roughs. So right, left, right. Triple left, triple left, triple left. Herta, they're Hertas. Left, right, left, right, left. I hate left hand triple or Hertas. That's where we are today, and then adding a flam to that. So flam, left, right, kick. And try to make it work. So that's what I'm working on. Brain. When you start working on this kind of stuff, your muscles might hold up, but your brain's going to start going up. At least for me, an hour and a half is like my zone when I'm really working the brain. I've had over the years forced myself into the role of a drummer, which I am not. I play keyboards mainly. Oh, nice. Unfortunately, the fact that I can only drum basic things, that dictates everything else. Again, Some of I mean, I played in wedding bands and all that stuff for years, and I mean, you don't have to play fancy to get people to dance, you know? So never think that what you're doing, even though it might not seem complicated or intricate or crazy, if you look out and people are bopping their foot, you know, sometimes you know, if your point is coming across on the drum set, that's all you got to worry about, you know. And yes, you can work on advancing it, and like we said, like learn more words, learn how to talk better on the instrument. But you know, never think that what you're playing isn't as crazy as it should be, right? I'm not a keyboardist, but if you put the chord sheet in front of me, I could be like, all right, I can, you know, I'm not gonna be like, but I can fake it, you know. Yeah, it's like a brick wall limiter. I know what you're saying. I definitely know. You're probably hearing things in your brain, right? And it's just so hard to get out. And that's, I mean, as a musician, that's what technique means, is how easily we get what's up here out through our fingers and our whatever, right? If you're playing saxophone or piano or guitar. Technique isn't, everyone thinks it's like how you look, like your golf swing, right? That your technique is really good. But it's not that you look good, but it's just like you've fine-tuned the reaction time from your brain, and that, think of like, it's just like it's hitting a muscle group just boom, like perfectly. That's good technique. Like you've just learned the motion and you've just ingrained it into your brain. Yeah, it sucks, man. That's me too. If you ask any instrumentalist or any artist or any athlete or anyone that's doing anything physical, right? Even they might seem like they have it all together, but you know, if you ask them like, "Oh, what do you think? You know, your technique's great," they're always gonna say, It's funny that Adam Newsbaum I went to see the other night, and someone was saying like, "Oh, you got a great ride cymbal hand," and he's like, "Thanks, I'm still working on it." And he's like, I don't know how old, but he's like one of the greats, and he's joking. That's his way of saying thank you. But his response is so humbling. He's like, "Yeah, still, you know, I'm working on it," and it's like, dude. So there's always areas, you know, where everyone's trying to get better. It's interesting. We're all at different points, but everyone's just, you know, we all want to get better or get more, get a clear signal, right? From here to here, get it out. So it'll never happen perfectly, but we're trying. Acres, I always track to a metronome because a lot of the work I do is remote sessions for clients. So those projects are always usually on the grid. So I will do stuff to a metronome. But I hate the metronome. It sucks. I think it ruins amazing songs, ruins recordings. It's like, I don't know. It's like putting tracks on a Ferrari, you know, meaning like a train, you know. You just tell a Ferrari where to go. Just tell it how fast, but you're telling it where to steer. The best songs ever, my favorite songs in the world, have not been recorded to clicks. So I think clicks suck. They're great if you're a sucky drummer and you have terrible time. Right? But a good drummer, I want to hear that drummer's interpretation of the time and how that changes throughout the song, right? I feel like tempo is just as alive as the dynamic range of a song, how loud and how soft it is, how that song breathes in and out during sections. I want to hear that. But modern music, everyone wants it perfect and the same and copy and paste this verse into that and whatever. But do I track to a metronome a lot? Yeah, pretty much 99% of the time, just because, you know, that's just the way things are. But if I had it my way, it would just, yeah, just good players, you know, all in the same room, all the time, just going off of each other. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's yeah, all good, Acres. Austin, hello. Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you doing? I had chocolate peanut butter pancakes for breakfast. My wife made them. They were fantastic. And eggs. And my neck is still, like, I don't know. I think I, like, pulled my neck, like, slept on it weird. Ugh, did you ever get that? It's not bad, but you're just like, ugh. Every now and then I like, do something on the kit, and I'm like, ugh. It's like, whatever this is, like the muscle here. Ugh. Getting old. I'll tell you one gross story. When I was in first grade, I threw up, right? As one does when they're in first grade. But I threw up so hard, I guess, I created a neck spasm and my neck was stuck like this. Like I couldn't turn my neck for like a week. It was the weirdest thing. It was freaked me out because like my muscles just like constricted. Never happened again, but I was like, what the heck? And my mom took me to like the doctors, chiropractors, and they're like, yeah, you just had a neck spasm, probably from like throwing up. So now whenever I get a neck pain, I'm like, oh my God. All right, let's do the left hand. Acres, you gotta have a good vomit story, right? I'll never forget being in first grade and our lunch line, like you were waiting to go eat lunch, and to the right of us was the wall, like, you know, cinder blocks. You know, in schools how they have like the cinder block walls, and, you know, as a kid you'd walk down the hall and just like follow the groove of the cinder block, whatever. But I remember like, standing in line and just like staring at the wall waiting for lunch, and I was like, this is weird. If I look straight, I'm staring right at it. Was the weirdest thing. Like, just the memories I have from it. It's just weird. And my friend was just like, just turn your neck, dude. And I was like, I can't. It was weird. Yeah, it was like a week. And the doctor was like, you could put a neck brace on. And I was like, well. So my mom made me wear this like neck brace, but I'm like, my neck can't move. It doesn't do anything. And then I just woke up one day and I could move it. It's the weirdest thing. Weirdest thing. Who knows? Left hand lead Hertas. Let's try it with the flam. What is up? It's good to see you. How are you? Akers, thank you. I was stuck using an electric kit for about 10 years, and I've only recently got an acoustic kit. It feels bizarre. Yeah, acoustic kits and electric kits. I say this often. I'm not a fan of electric kits. I think of them as completely different instruments. They're great for learning and stuff, but yeah, they're so different. I understand people have sound issues and all that. I played an electric kit for years. And when I lived in LA in an apartment, I wanted to practice, 1,000 hours a day if I could. But I started practicing on electric kit, and I had it for about 2 years. And I discovered it was hurting me as a player, right? Because I was trying to push through it to get these sounds that were never going to happen, and I was hurting myself playing on it, and I gave it to a friend. I was like, it's not helping me, right? Because you want to hear a certain sound, or you want it to get louder so you hit harder, or I was trying to pull things from it that were never going to happen. So I'm not a fan of electric kits. In general, I always tell people, I'm like, I'd rather not play drums I know as it hurts to say this, but I'd rather not play than play an electric kit. I know. You're like old man, grumpy Dan, but I just don't like how it makes me feel when I play them. You know, it's not the same. But I get it. If you're learning, it's fantastic because you're going to learn the basic muscle memory. But there's a point where I feel like they really hurt you as a player because you're not hearing the response and the feedback that you should be, you know? Good to see you too. New cam. Well, we got one camera, Mammoth. I got rid of all the other cameras. We used to, for those of you who are just popping in, we used to have 5 cameras all around the studio here, and I don't know. I get in these moods where I'm like, I used to play a big drum set with a million cymbals and all this, and over the years as I get older, I just want, oh no, it's freaking out. Oh no, camera's doing good. Be good. The camera's been acting up. Not the camera, but the robots that I use to control him. But he's looking okay. But over the years, I've downgraded and just like what I really want as a player is simple things. So instead of like 5 cameras all over, I just wanted one really good camera. So we got a new one, and I love it. There's no color correction on here, Mammoth. The other ones I had a lot to do, but this one has autofocus. When it works, it works. It's a Sony FX3. It's just, the colors are just beautiful. It's fantastic. So I'm figuring out like the new system, and the new jib thing from Idlecrone comes out in September. So we're gonna have a much bigger range of motion for just one camera. So we'll get all the angles that the other cameras used to get, but just from one camera. So it's not jarring to go from like here to here to here. Like, and no one wants to look at my foot, you know? No one wants to see my old chewed up dog shoes. I don't know if you could see. Toby chewed these when he was a puppy. These are like 3-4 years old. Yeah, it just, the autofocus is so good. It just wants to stay on my face. Very cinematic. Thank you. Yeah. So over the years, I just want to focus on what I think is important. And one camera, one good camera, you know, and a mediocre drummer. That's the formula for success. But it's great to see you. How are you doing, man? What are you up to? Yeah, it's one camera moving around with, I have a zoom module, so it's like, it's working the 24 to 70 mil. And then the jib is moving like up and down and sideways, and then there's a motion going forward and back. So there's like all kinds of different things happening at once, but it's just one camera. I'm using which lens? I'm using the 24 to 70 Sony, the G Masters. So it's a great lens. Just the version 1. I don't have the Mark II because it's a lot of money. But see that little hop there, that little skip. Yeah, let's see why it's doing that. Let's see, hold on. If we stop. Actually, yeah, we'll leave it. I'll figure it out later. Yeah, GMAS, yeah, they're the best. They're really good. They're really great lenses. Sturdy. All right, let's see. All right, left-hand triplets. Let's add the flam. And again, I don't want to shift and move this around today. We're just going to stick with the 3-stroke rough on the first position of the triplet. But you could do so many different things with this. And again, I'm trying to teach myself and create that. I hate to use the word independence, but it's that intuition, that instinct, right? If I'm playing something, I just want it to just pop through, you know, come out without even thinking. So currently on vacation. Nice. Congrats. Hopefully you're somewhere where the food's great. I was just at a studio, and the engineer was like, yeah, we were just got back from vacation, from hiking in the Adirondacks. I'm like, that's not a vacation. He's like, yeah, I need a vacation from my vacation. I was like, dude, What? I don't know. Hiking the Adirondacks is not a vacation. That's a lot of work. So yeah, hopefully you're not hiking or anything like that. You're just sitting and chilling, eating good food. But it is great to see you, man. Belgium, nice. So much for your time today. Oh, let's go. Off to Dreamland. Oh man, it's a pleasure. Acres, seriously. Honestly, it's great to chat about that stuff. Helping talk through it. Talking through certain things helps me get it even better. So thank you. Have a good sleep. I'm sure, Mammoth. I'm sure it's good to just like chill. But I would love to go to Belgium. That'd be really fun. The food is really good there, right? Like really good. I would imagine. Dude, French fries and waffles, let's go. We were just talking about this, me and my wife. One of my favorite places in LA was Roscoe's, chicken and waffles. And that's what I used to get. Waffles, French fries, but fried chicken. You would think like it doesn't make sense. But I'm telling you, 5 a.m. after being out all night at concerts or playing a gig or something, that stuff is the best. Athena, hello, how are you doing? Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. If you're in the LA area or Southern California, go there. It's on Vine. No, it's not on Vine. What's it on? Is it on Vine? Yeah, I think it's Sunset and Vine. Oh my gosh, I've been away from there so long. I don't quite remember. Or is it McCadden? I don't know. But yeah, go there. Get the fried chicken and waffles with fries. It's the best. And a Coke, right? I haven't had good fried chicken, and my mom made it, and it's really good. But she made it. It was a while ago. I haven't had good fried chicken in a long time. It's a shame. If you go get fried chicken, it's like breaded, and it's like, I don't know, like chicken fingers. And they're like, it's fried chicken. I'm like, this is not fried chicken. I don't know what you're talking about. But you can't like go to restaurants nowadays and get like fried chicken. It's always chicken fingers and breaded crap, you know? Cracker Barrel, I think you can get fried chicken. I don't know if you still can at some point. I remember we were going on a road trip. We saw a billboard and I was like, oh my God, fried chicken. KFC, obviously, and Popeyes. But that's like fast food fried chicken. It's still all right, but I'm saying like homemade fried chicken. Very rarely can you find that at a restaurant. It's a lot of work to do and to do well. of it makes sense, but we're working things out. So triplet. Oh. Again, those just popping in. If you take a Herta, right, and you do right, left, right, you'll realize the triplet version of this, it's a 3-stroke rough. The right hand is just doing, it's playing the 8th notes of the triplet. Left hand, I'm dying. As Jeremy Clarkson would say, I think I have bird flu. I'm sad. I don't think they're gonna do any more grand tours, or I think the Jeremy, James, and Richard days are over. I don't know. Anyone else here a fan of the old Top Gear? And I enjoyed the Grand Tour specials that they did on Prime. I enjoyed them. They're fun. I always told my wife when I retire, it'd be really fun just to like sit around in the drummer nursing home and watch Top Gear, like the old Top Gears. You know, they're very fun. Left hand. Still can't like do it in the moment, like fast. I gotta stop and think about it, and that really pisses me off. Right? Sometimes things come out, but I'm like, it's almost like a disconnect. Like I'm playing things, but I don't really know what I'm playing. But maybe that's because I'm just not engulfed in that moment, and I'm trying to understand what I'm playing. Right? But this is what practice is. You're supposed to think about things Figure it out. Okay, Dad. Right, finger? I'm sure you're at that stage too, right? Like, okay, Dad. Jeez, God. I know. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Finger said, it sounds like a life lesson. Maybe. Anyone else have preteens or teens in your house that know everything? My neighbor, we were chatting yesterday, and he's like, man, your one son, he's getting big. I'm like, yeah, he's getting big, but his brain is getting a lot smaller. He laughed. His son just graduated the Air Force Academy. He's brilliant, and he's going into become a pilot, and he's a sweetheart. But yeah, all kids go through the teenage years, right? So they might be growing, but their brains are shrinking. Yeah, he laughed. recording. Thank you guys. Hello. Thank you for that rating. Woo. I'm also like trying not to just stick with one tempo, right? I get in that stage where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm great. But I'm just playing the same tempo for like hours, and then I try to change that tempo, and I'm just like, yeah. It's hard. We still got to shift this in 2 other places, which is just like, there's just so many things you can do with this stuff. So we're just doing 2. And each one of those has, I mean, I'm just working on like, I got to write all this down. There's literally probably one with the flams. There's probably 6 iterations or 8 of each one. So that's 16 times 3 times 6. How many is that? There's a lot. There's a lot we got to work on, but I'm just working on 2 of them. Gee. reach it. Triple it, triple it, triple it, triple it, triple it. High tempo's like doing unison notes. And then the Herta with the flam. It's so different, but it's also so similar. this goes into all these different things we can do with this. So instead of alternating right, left, right, we could do one. So it would be head. If you do a flam, that's hard with the left. Tension. Ultra, it's great to see you. Happy Sunday. Oh! So a head at it, da da da, but we're playing it da da da. 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then he put a flam on it. Whew. Enjoy your vacation. It's a pleasure to see you. I hope you still have a lot of vacation left. Sometimes it goes super quick. Ah. So this will be 3 really fast lefts. If I do a left hand with this, so flam, that's easy, right? Because I'm used, my fingers on my right are just so much stronger. Might be it. My brain's done, I think. I'm just now starting to just, which is good. You let go and you just kind of play stuff. But I don't want to do too much of that, right? Because the more you just kind of like, just, you know, without thinking about it, you just, I don't know, wasting energy, right? You want to still, when you're practicing, let go and get ideas out. But if you're not paying attention to what you're doing and you're just blowing chops or just making noise, I don't think that's very productive. So I think I lasted longer than an hour and a half. Usually that's been my mark of like working on something new, really pushing it. My retention is like an hour and a half. After that, I start to just like, I don't know, the brain is just like, all right, dude, you know, go outside, get some fresh air, stretch, have some coffee. But man, that was fun. Today was a good day. Like straight up. So we still have this week what we have to do. So what we did the past today and yesterday, and what we've kind of been working on the previous week was like this idea of a triplet, 3 notes. If you subdivide that into 16th notes, you have 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What we were working on today was a Herta on the first 2 notes. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, right? Da 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 da, and all the different stickings and ways that you could play that around the kit. Da 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 da. Right? You could emphasize the 1 2 or the 1 2 3. There's, you know, but the notes are all the same. So there's a million different ways you could play it. Next is we have to take the 1 3 4 5, right? So the middle Herta. As opposed to today's. Same principle, but just it's if you really think about it, it's the same thing, just table flipped. It's probably the hardest out of them for me, the middle triplet, like hearing that, because I'm so used to playing, you know, we learned triplets and shuffles and jazz on the downbeat, and that third note of the triplet is our swung beat, right? The da 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 da. So that middle note, da 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 da, right? It's gonna be interesting. So I'm gonna I gotta write this out because there's so much that there's so many ways we could like mess with this, and I don't want to. How do I put it? Like I don't want to overthink it, but I don't want to underthink it. I'm not making any sense. But this has been very beneficial for me, like taking these ideas and just like focusing on one thing, but just how can we integrate it around the kit. Books are great, but I found recently I need to just pick one thing, but just like how Iron Man did in Avengers, where he just like took that idea of time travel and went poof, right? That little simple idea, but just blow it up. There's so many different things we could do if we just look at each thing individually and explore it. But again, today was a blast. I hope everyone has a great Sunday on YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. You guys are the best. Thank you again, Laser. Crazy subs. Thank you guys. You're the best. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow early evening-ish. Tomorrow's Monday, right? Yeah. It's August. It's my sister's birthday this week. Woo! Love you guys. Goodbye. Bum, 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 bum.